I'm here about the violation notice.
Violation? What does that mean?
Can we fix this?
You have 30 days to comply.
She stood in the middle of the street, clipboard tucked under her arm, smirk firmly in place, absolutely convinced she'd already won. HOA-Karen had that look, the look of someone who had bullied neighbors for years without consequences. The kind of person who believed authority meant immunity. She issued fines like candy, rewrote rules whenever it suited her, and publicly embarrassed families who dared to question her. And now she had her sights set on us. It started small, an alleged violation that made no sense. Then came the letters, then the threats, each one more aggressive than the last. She wanted submission, silence, fear. Neighbors watched from behind curtains. Some shook their heads. Others whispered, "Don't fight her. She always wins." And that's exactly what she believed too. She cornered us at an HOA meeting, voice raised just enough to humiliate without looking unhinged. "Comply," she said, smiling, "or this gets worse." What she didn't realize was that we had stopped being afraid. What she didn't know was that every threat was documented, every rule cross-checked, every lie quietly archived. She thought this would end like all the others, with us backing down. But this time, she picked the wrong family. And while she walked away convinced she'd crushed another homeowner, the truth was far more dangerous for her. This was the moment everything started unraveling. Once HOA-Karen thought she had us cornered, she stopped pretending to be fair. The fines doubled, then tripled. New violations appeared out of thin air. Rules no one had ever heard of suddenly always existed. She sent emails late at night, CCing lawyers, property managers, and board members to make everything feel bigger, scarier, unavoidable. She wanted us overwhelmed. At the next HOA meeting, she made an example out of us. She spoke slowly, smugly, explaining penalties like a teacher disciplining a child. A few neighbors looked away, afraid to be next. Others nodded along, grateful it wasn't them in the spotlight. That's when she crossed the line. She referenced private conversations. She quoted rules incorrectly. She claimed authority she didn't legally have and set it on record. We noticed something she didn't. The more confident she became, the sloppier she got. Contradictions piled up, dates didn't match, fines violated state law, enforcement was clearly selective. And worst of all for her, she put everything in writing. She thought paperwork was her weapon. She didn't realize it was becoming her evidence. Behind the scenes, we stopped reacting emotionally and started organizing. Screenshots, emails, meeting minutes, financial statements, everything neatly labeled, time-stamped, and backed up. HOA-Karen walked around like a winner, boasting, threatening, posturing, but the truth was already set in motion. She believed pressure would break us. Instead, it exposed her. The first sign was the silence. For weeks, HOA-Karen had been loud. Emails, notices, threats. Then suddenly, nothing. No fines, no warnings, no smug reminders of consequences. That silence wasn't mercy. It was panic. Behind closed doors, she had realized something was wrong. Our responses had changed. We weren't arguing anymore. We weren't pleading. We weren't emotional. We were precise. Every reply referenced statutes. Every email quoted her own words back to her. Every meeting request was formal, calm, and documented. The intimidation she relied on simply stopped working. At the next board meeting, she tried to regain control. She raised her voice. She cut people off. She declared topics not open for discussion. But the room had changed. Neighbors who once stayed quiet began speaking up. Others submitted written complaints. One by one, stories came out. Selective enforcement, retaliation, fines that made no sense. And the worst part for her, board members started asking questions. She snapped, defensive, irritable, contradicting herself mid-sentence. The confident enforcer was gone, replaced by someone scrambling to protect her authority. That's when she realized it wasn't just us anymore. The community had noticed. The board was nervous. And outsiders were now involved. She had pushed too hard for too long, and the power she thought was permanent was slipping right through her fingers. She still thought she could win. But now, she was wrong. The final blow didn't come with shouting or threats. It came with facts. Audits were requested, records were reviewed, and once everything was laid out in the open, there was nowhere left for HOA-Karen to hide. Fines had been issued illegally, rules were enforced selectively, funds were mishandled, emails contradicted policies, meeting minutes didn't match reality. Her authority turned out to be smoke and mirrors. Board members scrambled to distance themselves. Some resigned, others claimed ignorance. But HOA Karen stood alone, exposed, defensive, and stripped of the control she once abused so confidently. Residents watched as her tone changed. No more smirks, no more threats, just excuses. The same woman who once humiliated families now sat quietly while policies were reversed, fines refunded, and her decisions dismantled one by one. Her name became synonymous with everything the HOA promised never to be again. She thought she'd win because she always had. She was wrong, because this time the community fought back, and the lesson was clear. Power without accountability always collapses. Now it's your turn. Have you ever dealt with an HOA Karen who thought she was untouchable? Share your experience in the comments. Your story might help someone else stand up. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this story so more people know they're not alone, and so toxic HOA behavior keeps getting exposed.